Good morning, everyone. My name is Amit Kumar Singh, and welcome to yet another session on sequencing problem. Till now in sequencing problem, we have started our discussion on two machine problem. We have discussed about two machine problem, n job two machine problem. So we have started discussing on n jobs two machine problem. Then we went further and we have discussed about n jobs and three machine problem. You can see this. This is the kind of three machine problem. You can see this is the kind of three machine problem. We had done three machine problem. Before that, we have started our discussion on two machine problem. We have started on two machine problem. Then we have talked about three machine problem. Now in today class, you can see this is again three machine problem. And now in today class, we'll talk about n jobs and k machine problem. So there's no limit on machines. So you can see in this problem, you have around five machines and you have four jobs. So this is basically a four job and five machine problem, which we will discuss today. Four job, five machine problem, which we'll discuss today. So in your exam also, definitely you will get a question on sequencing problem, and all in the sequencing problem, the method what we follow Johnson algorithm to solve the problem. While working on the problem, we determine the total elapsed time and the ideal time on each machine. So the end motive whenever we work on sequencing problem is to convert n machines, whatever are given in the problem. We have to convert that n machine into basically two machine problem. The end motive whenever you sequencing problem is to convert your n machine problems into two machine problem. That is what we have learned. Basically, when I ask you two machine problem, you can easily determine its sequencing, that which job will be performed first or which job will be performed later on. You can see, like, for in this you can see, suppose in this problem, you can see out of the total processing time here, you can see the smallest value is 2. So that means when you plan the sequencing of task on the machine, the first you'll do is task A. Okay, so that way you can plan. Then probably when you see further, you can see this value. The next smallest value is 3, and 3 is corresponding to E also, and 3 is corresponding to G also. So definitely when you see the next lowest value is 3. So definitely the 3, either the task E or either the task G is gonna be done. But if you notice in this problem that both task E and G, where the lowest value is 3, you can see that in both is being on the machine B. You can see both is on machine B. Okay, so that you whenever we work on the sequencing problem, we first make the work to be done on machine A, and then we send the work to machine B, where the finished good of machine A become the raw material for the machine B. So if you see this value 3, the 3 is corresponding to the machine B. Okay, so that basis you can understand that because the 3 is the smallest value on machine B, definitely this work would be done at the end. Okay, because you can understand, ultimately you have to minimize the total processing time while working on the all the machines all together. Then you may be confused that should I end my work with machine E or should I end my work with machine G. For both of them, for machine B, the time processing time in hour is 3 hour. But if you see, E correspond hour in machine A, and while G correspond to 7 hour in machine B. Sorry, in machine A, 7 hour in machine A. So out of 6 and 7, you know that 6 is the smaller value. So definitely out of E and G, if you ask machine A to prefer one value, which one you want to do it first, so machine A will definitely will go with work E, because work E having the lesser processing time. So that means that the last work what you will do, the last work what you will do will be G, and before that you will do E. So once you're done with this E and G, then probably you can see the next lowest value. The next lowest value is C. The next lowest value is C and I. And then again you can see the C and I. Again you can see the smallest value is 4 hour. So both on C and I, the smallest value is 4 hours. So which one should I prefer? So which one should I prefer? For that, you need to see the other value, the value for machine B. So 7 and 11. So if you give a chance to machine B to choose between 7 and 11 hour, machine B will choose 7 hour. Okay, because it will try to reduce the time. That means after A, the work which will have done is I, and after I, the work which will have done will be C. Okay, so this is the way how we do. This is the way how we do. Once this is done, you can see the next. You can see here D having the value 4 hour, but that is on machine B. So you can write here D. Okay, then you can see the next lowest value is on B and H. Both are same value, so you can write anything B and H. One, this is also done. Then F. So ultimately the value left is F. So you have 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. So this question again also came also in your exam also. In I think which year this question was there. This question was there some year. This question has came also. This problem also came in your exam also. Which year this was? 1 minute, I'll show you. This is the question. 2658. 2658. Okay, you can see this 265847. 9463. 9463. Okay, you can see this. This question has came for how many marks? This question has came for 5 marks in year 2016. So means like one of the good question because repetition was there. So we need to understand here because ultimately it is very important that you need to start thinking about how you can work on two machine problem. Because if I give you three machine also, if I give you here three machine also, you have to convert this three machine into two machine. Because if I give you here five machine also, no, here I've given you five machine also. This five machine also you have to convert into two machine. Ultimately your fundamental concepts on working on two machines should be very strong. So if I give you three machine also, if I'm giving you three machine problem also, the three machine problem can be converted into two machine problem only when if the minimum processing time on machine A that should be greater than or equal to the maximum processing time on B, or the minimum processing time on C that should be greater than or equal to the maximum processing time on B. Either of any event should happen or both of the events should happen. Then only you can convert. This three machine problem into two machine problem. Where imagine if you converted this into two machine problem called M and N. So M would be equal to A plus B and N would be equal to B plus C. And then once you got these two machine called M and N, then you know how to work on two machine problem. So we have to be very aware about how we can convert that into two machine problem. So that is very important thing for any kind of problem solving. You should know how to convert the given problem into two machine problem. Here also for any, like you can see, five machines are there, four jobs are there. So here you can see this five machines are there and four jobs are there. So here also you need to understand that again the same logic will use also. Doesn't matter how many machines are there. Again understand, doesn't matter how many machines are there. what you have to do, you have to in order to convert, in order to convert k machine problem, in order to convert machine problem, in order to convert k machine problem into a two machine problem, in order to convert k machine problem into a two machine problem, what we need to do, we need to calculate, we need we need to calculate, what we need to calculate, we need to calculate the minimum processing time, the minimum processing time of extreme machines. We need to find the minimum processing time of extreme machines. We have to find the minimum processing time of extreme machines. So what do you mean by extreme machines? What do you mean by extreme machine? Extreme machine means extreme machine. What do you mean by extreme machine? Extreme machine means the first and last machine. So I have to find the minimum processing time of extreme machine means first and last machine. So I have to find the minimum processing time of first and last machine, and this I will compare with the maximum processing time of remaining machine. So remaining means what all machines are there in between. So I have to find the minimum processing time of first and last machine, and this I have to compare this with the maximum processing time of remaining machines, which are in middle. Okay, remaining machines which are in between, which are in between of extreme machines, of extreme machines. Please write it down. I hope you are writing down all this thing. So in order to convert the k machine problem into two machine problem, we need to calculate the minimum processing time of extreme machines. What do you mean by extreme machine? Extreme machine means your first machine and last machine, and that you will compare with the maximum processing time of remaining machines. So a remaining machine means what all machines I'm talking about. I'm talking about next machine. Suppose second machine to k and k minus one machine. Okay, if there are total n machines, are total k machines are there. So from second machine to k minus one machines, you will find the maximum processing time. While for first machine and the k machine, k means the last machine, you will find the minimum processing time. Okay, please write it down. If you are sitting with notebook and pencil or pen, please write it down. You will compare the minimum processing time of the extreme machines, which are your first and last machine, that you will compare with the maximum processing time of remaining machines, which are in between first and last machine. Please write it down, everyone. So once you're done with this, everyone, please write it down. So once you're done with this, then you'll compare, then you'll make a comparison, then you'll make a comparison, you will compare the minimum processing time, on first machine, and that should be greater than or equal to the maximum processing time of remaining machines except the last machine, because for the last machine you are finding the minimum processing time. So you'll compare the minimum processing time of the first machine with the maximum processing time of remaining machine, but not the last machine. or you will compare this, you will compare with the minimum processing time of your last machine. Suppose the last machine is kth machine, and that should be the maximum, that should be more than or equal to the maximum processing time of all the machine from second to the second last machine. So you will make a comparison. So either of any comparison should be true, or both of them should true, to convert the given problem into into two machine problem. Then same thing what we did for three machine, the same thing I'm doing here. Same logic for three machine, first and last was there, for which you used to find the minimum processing time, and that used to compare with the maximum processing time of second machine, because there's only one machine in between. Now here lot of machines are there in between, doesn't matter, whatever machines are between the first and last machine, you'll see the maximum processing time of those machines, and that you compare with the minimum processing time of first and last machine. Okay, so if any condition works, or both the condition works, so if either of any condition works, if either of any condition works, if either of any condition works, or or both of the condition works, or both of the condition works, then then the K machine problem, then only the K machine problem will be converted into will be converted into then only it would be converted into two machine problem. Then only it would be converted into two machine problem. So if either of the condition works or both of the condition works, then only you will convert the K machine problem into two machine problem. Okay. So suppose the two machines are M and N. Suppose your two machines are M and N. So your M machine would be from first machine, sum of first machine K minus one machine. That would be your M machine, and your N machine will be, and your nth machine will be from second machine to the last machine, and then you will apply the two machine logic. So what we'll do, we'll find the minimum processing time of first and last machine, and that will compare with the maximum processing time of all the machine which are in between first and last, and in either of any condition should work, that the minimum processing time of first machine, that should be greater than or equal to the maximum processing time of all the machines in between, or the minimum processing time of the last machine, that should be greater than or equal to the second machine to uh, last, but not the last machine, second last machine. So if either of any condition works, then only if either of any condition work, then only you will convert the given problem into two machine problem. Otherwise, you will not convert the given problem into two machine problem. So then shuffling and reshuffling you have to do between A and B, then B and C, all that. So that would become very complicated if you think about shuffling and all. So let's just ignore that. We believe that either of any condition would work. Otherwise, we need to use the logic of permutation combination to work on the shuffling part. Clear, right? And then you know that how to work on Johnson algorithm on two machine problem. And once you get the sequence, so the what is the objective? Why you are converting this into two machine problem? What is the objective of converting them into two machine problem? So the objective of converting them into two machine problem is to get the job sequencing. Is to get the job sequencing. So job sequencing. So which job to be done when, because the objective is to minimize the total elapsed time. So why we are doing all that, why we need to convert that into sequencing and all, because it's a theoretical concept, and according to this theoretical concept, which is based on a Johnson algorithm, if we work on sequencing, ultimately we'll minimize the total processing time, and also will save the ideal time. Okay, so that again is very important framework. Need to work on operation research. So operation research is all about optimality, how you can work on efficiency in operation research. So the working on Johnson algorithm on sequencing problem is one of the instance where we can demonstrate the application of efficiency or optimality in the practical life scale cases. Okay, so you'll convert them a key machine problem to two machine problem. So once you converted them into two machine problem, then probably we need a sequencing. So which sequence, which work should be done when. So all that like from second machine already I've discussed these things many times in before also. So that part can be easily worked on. So once you get the sequencing, then probably once you get the sequencing, probably then you can individually we can determine the processing time of each machine, so that our required objective would get fulfilled. Okay, so I hope you are all understanding. It's very easy. No, it's not at all a difficult thing. So imagine this is the problem. Imagine this is the problem. Okay, everyone, please write it down. This problem. This is n job k machine problem. This is n job k machine problem. Everyone, please write down this problem. Once you're done writing this problem, please message me. Please write in the chat box, so that then I'll continue. I'll start solving. Then everyone written down the problem. Once you're done this, then write the minimum processing time of first and last machine. Write down the minimum processing time of first and last machine. Once you're done with this, write down the minimum processing time of first and last machine. Then find the maximum processing time of remaining machine. Like if you see the maximum processing time of second machine is 6 hours. For third machine, the maximum processing time is 5 hours. And for fourth machine, the maximum processing time is 6 hours. So once you find the minimum processing time of first and last machine, minimum processing time of first and last machine, and maximum processing time of first and last machine, now we can see that will we can convert this into two machine problem or not. So once you find the minimum processing time of first and last machine, you can compare with the maximum processing time of remaining machine. So you can easily see that you can see the minimum processing time on one, that should be greater than or equal to the maximum processing time of 2, 3 and 4. So we can see that for the third machine, the maximum processing time is 5 hours, and the minimum processing time of machine A is 5 hours. So you can easily see that this is equal. Similarly, you can see the machine E and machine D, or machine E, or machines what you say, machine B. So A, B, okay. So machine B, you can see that in that is also great equal to. So the similarly the minimum processing time of machine E, okay, E6 is greater than or equal to the maximum processing time of 2, 3 and 4th machine. You can see this is 6 and this is equal to 6. This is 5, this is equal to 5. They are equal. So either they should be equal, or either the minimum processing time should be more. So the minimum processing time should be more. So probably you can easily understand this. This is very important. So if so, you can convert this into two machine problem only when the only when the minimum processing time on first and last machine, that should be more than or equal to the maximum processing time of remaining machine. So you can easily understand now, because this condition is satisfying, so you can convert this into a two machine problem. Clear, everyone? Both the conditions are working here. So it doesn't matter that both the conditions should work. If either of one condition also work, then also it would be applicable. So find the minimum processing time of first machine, compare that with the maximum processing time of second, third and fourth machine. Similarly, find the minimum processing time of fifth machine, and similarly we need to prove that the minimum processing time of the fifth machine, that should be greater than or equal to the maximum processing time of second, third and fourth machine. So now you can convert this into two machine problem, because this application is working. So it can be converted into two machine problem, where M is equal to A plus B plus C plus D, the first four machine except the last machine, where machine n would be equal to B plus C plus D plus E. So you can convert this into two machine problem, so that then only we can work on job scheduling. So ABCD machine ABCD would be machine M, while BCDE would be the machine N. So I can write machine ABCD. Here I can write machine M, where M is equal to A plus B plus C plus D. So 7 plus 5, 12, 12 plus 40, 12 plus 5, 17. So 2 plus 6, 7 plus 5, okay, 12, 14, 17. 6 plus 6, 12, 12 plus 4, 12 plus 4, 16, 16 plus 5, 19. Okay, similarly, I can do this. No, no, this is 6 plus 6, 12, 12 plus 4, 16, 16 plus 5, 21. Similarly, 9, 9 plus 5, 14, 14 plus 6, 20. Similarly, 8 plus 3 plus 3 plus 2 is 16. Similarly, the next job is MB plus C plus D. So machine, the last machine, you include the same thing. So this would be 19. Okay, you remove 7 and add 9. Here you remove what? Here the total you are getting is 21. 21 minus 6 to remove A is 15. 15 plus 15, 15, 10, that is 25. Similarly, I can find the other value. This would be 23 and this would be 14. Okay, so we converted them into machine M and machine N. So you can just ignore them. Now just focus on machine M and machine N to decide the sequencing. So you can decide on machine M and machine N to decide the sequencing 1, 2, 3, and you can see the smallest value is 14, and that is on machine N. So definitely this work will be done at the last. Job 4 will be done at the last, and then the next smallest value is 17. This will be done at beginning. Then this will be done at third. This is done at second. Because 20 is less than 21. So this would be the sequencing of work. So first we will do the job 1 on machine A, followed by working on job 3. After job 3, job 4, and job 4. After job 4, possibly we will calculate our ideal time and the processing time, total time to work on the given challenge. So that is what we need to do. So the idea of converting this 5 machine problem into 2 machine problem is to ultimately decide the tone of working on, possibly the framework on which the values are given. So we need to arrange them in sequencing so that the total minimum time can be minimized. Fine. So you converted this n machine problem into two machine problem. Now this part is done. Now we can work on our processing and ideal time. Okay. So let me just copy this. Okay. So this. Okay. Now this is 1 2. This is 1. First you'll do 1 and then 3. First you'll do 1 and then 3. So first you'll do machine 1, then you'll do machine 3, and then machine 2, then machine 4. Now let me copy this. Okay, this I put them in sequence. So this I converted this. Now you can see this here is coming very small. So I'll do here only in and out. This is machine A. This would be machine B. This would be machine C. This would be machine D. This would be machine E. And this is we'll start with 0. 0. We'll start with 0. Then 7. It will take 7. Okay, then B will start from 7 and 5. So 7 plus 5, 12. Then C will start from 12 and D will start from 14. 14 plus 3, 17. And E would be 17. Then this is 9, 26. Okay, then it will start from 7 here. 7 to 7, 5 is 12. Then it will start from here 12, and this is 4. This will end at 16. Here it will start from 12, and this is 4. This would be 16. Sorry, 4 would be 16. This would be start from 12, and this 4 is there, 16. Then here it will start from 16, and 16 plus 5, 21. This is, it will start from 21, and it will go till this is 6, now 27. 16 plus 5, 12 plus so 16, so 27. This would be 27. 27 plus 8, 35. So start from 12 here, and 12 plus 6, 18. Then it would be 18. Then this is 24 dash 28. So this would be 28 dash 33, and this will start from 35 dash 45. This is 18, 26, 26, 29, 29, 32. 32 plus 35, 45 dash 51. So with this you can find the all in and out of all machine. Gradually you can find the in and out of all machine. I arrange them in sequence, the same sequence what we get through Johnson algorithm. Arrange them in sequence of A, B, C, D, E. Done everyone? Anyone have any doubt? Done everyone? So once you are done with this, you can find the ideal time. You can find the total elapsed time. So the total elapsed time is 51 hour given an hour. Unit of time, I'm not sure about that. Okay, I'm assuming the time period is hour. Then the total ideal time of A, total ideal time of A total ideal time of A is 51 minus 26. This is the total processing time of A, total ideal time of A. Total ideal time of B also I can find. That would be 7 plus 18 minus 16. So total ideal time of B would be, you can see B in starting only waited for 7 hours. So total ideal time of B, that will be equal to 7 plus 2 9, 9 plus 2 11, 11 plus 59, that is 2 20, 21, 21, 22, 22, 22 plus 22 plus 2 plus 2, 22 plus 26, 26 plus 7, 31. Okay, this is 7 plus 2 plus 2 plus, this is 6, 30 minus 51 minus 30, 22. This is 22 plus 24 plus 26, 26, 31. Then I'll find the total ideal time of C. C is 12. You waited for 12. C 12 plus 16 minus 14. So C is 12, then 16 minus 14, then 24 minus 21, then 24 minus 21 plus then 29 minus 28 plus 51 minus 32, 1 minus 32. Similarly, this would be 12 plus 2 plus 3 plus 1 plus 51 minus 32. This is 9. This is 4 minus 3. 1. 19. So this is 12 plus 2. 12 plus 2. 14. 14 plus 3. 17. 17 plus 1. 18. 18 plus 18 plus 19. 37. Similarly, I will find the total ideal time of machine D. Total ideal time of machine D. For machine D, this is machine D. 14 plus 21 minus 17. 28 minus 27. 33 minus 33, that is okay. Then 51 minus 35. This is the total time of D. So D is 14. 14 plus 21 minus 17 plus 28 minus 17. Then 51 minus 35. So this would be equal to 14 plus 4, 7 plus 4, 11 plus 1 plus 15, 16, 18, 19, 20, 20, 36, 35. Similarly, total ideal time of E is equal to 17 plus 26. 27 minus 26 is 1. 1 plus 35, 35 is 0, then 0. This is equal to 18. So this is how you'll do. Very simple. Clear? Anyone have any doubt? Done. Anyone have any doubt? Please ask me. Clear everyone. 0, 7, 7, 12. First to nothing. Then 7 plus 5, 12. Then 12, 12 plus 4, 16. And then 16 plus 5, 21. And then 21 plus 21 plus 6, 27. And then 27 plus 8, 35. Then 12 plus 6, 18. 18 plus 6, 24. 24 plus 4, 28. 28, 20, 33. 28, 33. Then 35, 45. Then 18 plus 8, 26. 26 plus 3, 29. 29 plus 3, 32. Then 33 plus 2, 35. And then 45 plus 6, 51. Correct. See everyone. Anyone have any doubt? Ask me. Clear? Anyone have any doubt before I wind up the class? I guess Shruti would have sent me the attendance. Okay, guys. So I guess, okay, fine. Very easy. I hope you understood. Every year in for your exam, this question comes. So I believe you are clear with this. Okay, fine. So it's time to wind up the class then. Since you don't have any doubt, you have understood everything, whatever we have done. So it's time to wind up the class. So see you tomorrow. Thank you, everyone. Bye.